Okay, here we go. This is, I believe, the fourth video in the series analyzing the Torque 3D software engine. What I've done so far was I've analyzed up until initialized system. It was a general analysis up until here, and it continues to be a general analysis. The analysis platform is Windows 32. Um, if you're just picking it up here. This is a personal analysis. This is for me and myself alone. If you happen to watch this to your benefit, well, I'm happy for you. But keeping in mind that this isn't a professional deal. I'm not trying to educate anybody but myself. So cut me a short break. It would be interesting in the future if somebody did take this analysis and made a more, I guess, professional kind of analysis of the engine itself, because the engine sorely needs documentation. There's no point to having an open source software engine if you don't have any documentation to go with it. They have documentation regarding their scripting language and stuff, but just nothing for the engine. Well, not as long as I found. Not as far as I found, rather. I'm a little under the weather, so um, yeah, I'm gonna be coughing and sniffling, so got a deal. But let's go in here. This is where we are right now. You can see the breakpoint. The application is started and running. Um, the window hasn't launched yet, but the application has started. So I'm going to go ahead and step into this. This is the module manager. I do not know what the module manager does or what to find out. Okay, so it creates a vector of modules. Create module list, module, initialize, modules. Okay, let's step. Create module list. I do not know what this does, and I would like to know what this knows, so let's go ahead and look at the method. Hmm. Mm, mode initialize 0. Mm, module SM first. So is there only one module? Let's go ahead and step once. Doo -doo. Module. We have table. Get name, initialize, shutdown. Insert into module list. Let's step into. Find override for module. What is module? Doo -doo. Okay. Module override do override equals find override for. I'm gonna step into this. I want to see what this actually does. This is kind of complex code. So name equals get name for module pointer equals module sm first. Pointer not equals null. Pointer equals pointer m next. don't know what this override system does exactly. You know what? I'm sure in the future this will make sense, but let's go ahead and step through. So name is TS shape instance. Fine, override for that. Next. Uh, I don't think there will be an M next. So on step once. Is there a next? There is a next. So let's step. Okay, so there were no overrides in the module override subsystem, so none of this executed, so it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, it's not irrelevant as a whole, but it's irrelevant as for this path of execution. Um, it looks like it'll. I guess there can only be. You know what? So since it is a module, I guess there is only one override possible for it. I was thinking maybe there was a list of overrides or something, but wait. Pointer module SM first. Okay, so this comes from the class members. Sorry, I didn't catch that at first. So this comes from the class members SM first. So the module can have multiple overrides, but the names have to match up. Okay, I get it. Hmm. You know what? I thought it was exiting, but it doesn't look like it's exiting. It just looks like it's considering this the close of it and returning to the top of it. So the name never changes, but the module name changes, I believe. What is the module name? Unable to read in memory. Well, it never gets there, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to set a breakpoint there. And a breakpoint there. So I can catch both exit conditions. Okay, that was baffling. It didn't exit in either position. Let's go back to where we were. I am going to go back one more even. And I'm going to set a breakpoint here. Or I guess there. Let's go back again. Forward. Okay, stop the application. I gotta restart it. Okay, continue. 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 We're no longer breakpointing there, so we can remove that. Continue. We're no longer breakpointing that. We can continue. This was the input initialization stuff. We no longer need it. CD-ROM stuff, no longer need it. Okay, here we go. So this is what we're looking at, the find override for. So if override, module override. So override is 1. Okay, so override is always assigned. That's what the reason it was 1 before was because it was just uninitialized memory. It was bad data. So it tries to find the override. If there is an override, module equals override. Override not equals null. In this case, there is no override for anything, so it just does it once and then exits the loop, I believe. Yep. Get index of module in list. Let's see if module. Yep, module is a real thing. Uh, so if we're already on the list, return. Okay, so if this returns, the module is already in the list. If not, it continues on. So it's not in the list. So module is going to be loaded. Back. So the module. So it pushes the module on, but since there's no dependencies, it doesn't do anything. If there were dependencies, then it attempts to load the modules dynamically, I guess? So all of this, none of this ever gets executed unless there are dependencies, so... Excuse me. Mm, hmm. Hmm. Mm. Okay, here you can see that the function exits with a modulus pushback module. So it's doing the exact same thing as in the if statement that we're going to exit on in a few seconds. It's doing the same thing there as it is here. It's just that this is all responsible for loading dependencies. So it's just redundant logic, or I guess not redundant logic, but um, relative logic for processing dependencies. See, same here, same here. Hmm. Wait, pushback module. Yeah, sorry, I thought I saw something else. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and return. Do do. Oh, we don't need that. So, okay, now we know what this is doing. It's just loading all the modules and installing dependencies where modules are needed. Okay, I looked at this, I think. It just looks through the module list and sees if there's actually an index in there. So, oh, so this is the next module. This module has dependencies. Here we can see it actually going through the dependency addition. Okay. So it's recursive. It's just recursive as all hell. Yeah. Okay, I get it. This makes sense now. All this is just a simple module loader. Okay, did we go too fast, too far? No, this is a continuation of the dependency loading. Module list pushback. See? I'm gonna execute till return. Yeah, this whole thing is recursive. Yeah, this thing I believe is recursive for each module. So if the module has dependencies, it'll load the dependencies, but it'll never load anything twice. So it'll load the modules, but it'll never load anything twice. Execute till return. Execute till return. Execute till return. I'm gonna go all the way back. You can see how it is recursive. I'm gonna remove that. Okay, so in module manager initialize system, here it loads everything. Whew, that was a big deal. Okay, so create module list module do do do. Mm, come on, darn it. modules dot size. Okay. So now it'll iterate through each and every one of the modules, and when it actually does evaluate um, each one, it'll call this initialization routine. As soon as it's done, it'll set it to true. So they all are set to true no matter of the condition of initialization. Like initialization could fail and it'd still be set to true for whatever reason. That's just something to kind of notice. But okay, so I'm gonna step, 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 boom. I'm gonna step into on this one. So this module is TS shape instance, pref TS detail adjust. So here we're registering variables in the console. This one's a float 32, float 32. Oh no, float 32, sine 32, sine 32, float 32, sine 32. So max instance. Sorry, I've been talking for a very long time. Max instancing verts, smallest visible pixel size, skip render DLs, detail adjust. So these are just variables that are set in TS. I don't know what TS means, but maybe it says up here somewhere. I don't understand. I'm not familiar with um, 3D terms, so TS I'm sure is very meaningful, but I do not know what it means. Texture something, texture scaling maybe. Mm, TS shapes. Hmm. Step over. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Oh, sorry, I missed one. Darn it. My bad, I skipped two modules. So what module is this? SFX null provider? So each one has a different thing. So let's see. Darn it. So this is SFX system, source, SFX. Okay, so this is in the engine. So all of these modules are in the engine. And they all start with module begin, module init, module shutdown, module end. This is kind of interesting code. Lots of code. So this is the event stuff. Hmm. Hmm. Continue. What's the next module? Sim. What does sim stand for? Scene graphs. Sim manager. Functions relating to sim is object. Hmm. I'm gonna have to revisit this later. So what's next? So I is 7, num modules is 48. Okay, so it's gonna load a lot of stuff. Okay, so this is gonna load a ton of modules. 48 in total, and we've gone through 7 so far. So let's step into. Oh, sorry. Continue. So I'm gonna set a breakpoint after that so I can use continue. Um, Step into scene manager is another module. Let's continue. This is process module. Well, I want to look at this. Um, so all these different initializations are for all of the different modules and subsystems, maybe? I'm not sure. There's 48 of them. Well, let's continue. Step into. Okay, so this is game functions. This seems interesting. Register game functions. Hmm. I'm going to step over. Okay, this is going to be an exception as far as the modules go. I want to look at this register game functions um, because really I have no idea what it does and it seems interesting. So step into. Okay, so it's adding some variables to the console. Game types going into the console. Yeah, it makes sense. So here we're adding a variable. Hmm. Circular. I bet you could find like an overflow in here pretty easy. Oh no, I'm off context. Ignore that. I'm not gonna go looking for bugs. Like I said, this isn't a security audit, but yeah, this would be a good place to start looking. There's a lot of variables here. I wonder how many are documented and how many are used improperly. Hmm. Add variable, use in out. It's kind of cool. Okay, so continue. So the next module is going to be mesh intrinsics. So I'm just gonna step through real quick. Mm, okay. Next one is sim. Imposters? Hold on, I'm gonna Google this. Something imposters. doing something. Mm, okay, I have no idea what an imposter is, but I'm thinking that it has something to do with something, and something else. That makes no sense, but for future reference, I'll have to look at this more detailed after I know what the hell a sim is. Okay, so anyway, adding a variable, can shadow, continue. This is exhausting. Okay, module initialize. What's the next module? Feature manager. So it creates a feature manager, creates singleton. Continue. Next module is. Oh no, I messed up. I missed that module. Material manager. So terrain cell material. Do do do. Okay, the shader gen module. Uh, so this is the DirectX 9 HLSL, or I guess it's the DirectX high level shader language stuff. Shader gen HLSL in it. Mm, hmm. So sound effect. Oh, there's tons of stuff here. So this is just sound effect stuff. Sound effects description. I wonder how many more there are. I is 21. Okay, I'm gonna go quick through these because if not, this video is gonna be too long. Reflections, path manager, post effects visualization, post effects manager, message box. I guess message box is its own module. Weird. Hmm. Shadow map manager, shadow map manager, PSSM light shadow map, light shadow map, light map parameters, I guess maybe. Basic scene object lighting plugin. Basic light manager. Video capture. Hmm. I wonder what video capture does as a module. Does it capture the screen, maybe? Or the rendered something or another? Mm, I don't know, interesting. Hmm. Hold, hold on, did somebody knock on the door? Sorry, I thought somebody was at the door. Somebody was just closing the door. Roommates. Okay, so the next one is GFX Init. GFX Texture Manager Init. This is something we're going to want to look at. GFX Init.cpp. This is something that we're going to want to look at because a lot of the interesting things that we're going to want to do is going to spawn from manipulating the texture manager to creating dynamic textures. So if we can create some pragmatically created dynamic textures, we can take Windows from the outside operating system, like actually H handle the Windows, and get bitmap paintings from them and render them in 3D. I mean, I believe that's the way the toolkit, I'm sorry, the WebKit integration was done. Like I read some of that source code. That's half the reason I'm reading this source code right now is because I realized that you could take a texture from a handle to a window and paint it directly to a texture in game. So that transition is very important if we're making cool things. Cool things is the easiest way I can describe the cool things that I want to do. So anyway, continue. We're gonna want to go back there later. Step in, debug draw. Okay, continue. Step into wine deformation shaders. Weird. Continue. Step into forest window manager. This engine is cool because it gives you the ability to create forests. Like forests are just assemblies of objects dynamically strewn across any variety of planes. Um, they're dynamically implemented through um, the actual engine editor. That's something we'll actually go over later probably. But I guess this is where it's actually initialized as a subsystem, which is very cool. Oh damn it! I went over it. I didn't mean to do that. Ah, I missed the initializer. The initializer rather. Uh, Continue. Telnet debugger. This is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna kind of go against my rule. Um, I'm gonna want to analyze this just because it's cool. So step into New telnet debugger. So it hooks up to the notify queue, maybe. I bet there are bugs in this. Yeah, we're gonna want to look at this with a fine tooth comb, but we can't right now. In the future, I think what I'm gonna do is go over each and every one of those modules, like all 48 of them, just one by one. And when I do go through them one by one, I'm going to take special attention to this, because this to me, this is where we would find security problems. Neato. Okay, anyway, continue. Telnet console gets called twice. Maybe I'm confused about something. Continue. Ban list. I don't know what the ban list is. I'm assuming it's just a like a connection ban list used for kicking and banning players from a server. Yeah, simple enough. Okay, so continue. Next module. Ban word filter. So I guess this is to keep people from being profane on your server for whatever reason. I just had a genius idea. That's what ADD does for you. If you have ADD, sometimes you go off on wonderful tangents in which you have ideas about making software and millions of dollars and such. Um, so module initialize here on this module would be for sound effects 3D world. I guess this is for 3D sound, so you can hear the pitter patter of game objects. Continue. Next module is physics plugin. Okay, kind of cool. After module init sim. Hmm. Continue. Next one is standard game process. So I guess it's any file with module begin, because they seem to be all over the place. They're not like segregated as modules. Continue. Move manager. I don't. Maybe it's a movement manager. Forward, back, upright. Y'all. Okay. Hmm. So next one is decal manager. I do not know what a decal is exactly. I'm guessing it's what it sounds like. It's just something that sticks on something, like a bullet impact or something maybe. I don't know, but this is the module for it. Are we done? What's I? 48. No modules. 48. Oh my god, we got through it. So those are the only modules loaded here by initialize system. So I'm guessing the system, the Torque 3D system, all right here. All right here. Makes sense. I get it. We're gonna step back out. So bam, that's what we just got through. All 48 modules. Really, 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 I should go back here, and I'm sure, 100% sure, that I will be going back here to look at each of those individual modules, especially as I analyze them. So I'm going to make special care to note that this is where we start off in each module. This is where they start. Mm, so it adds a bunch of variables. Step default game string table insert scripts. Hmm. Force all main threads. Action map, global map, new action map. I don't know what an action map is. I assume it is what I think it is. Let's go to the definition. Go back. Open declaration. Input dead zone. Hmm. That's a lot of code. Go back. Okay, so it creates one of those. Not in a global scope. Hmm. Step. Global action map. How much more we got here? Not too much. So I'm gonna stop this video here because once again I have to get up. But when I get back, I think we'll start here because I have no understanding of sim. Um, totally unaware of how to like operate or utilize it. But yeah, I'm gonna stop the video. So that's it. I think it's about an hour maybe.